Okay, so in this video, 7th grade, you will be learning how to incorporate some music with loops from Apple Jingles and how to export your final product. So you should have your iMovie open, and what we're going to do now is we need to get into the Apple Loops section because we don't want any music that has lyrics on it because that'll take away from our voiceover work. So down here in the corner underneath the preview area, there is a little music note. So you're going to go ahead and click on that for music. And we need to be in the Jingles folder. I know I'm in the Jingles folder because it has 200 items in it. Let me show you how to get there. I'm just going to click on that little button, that little dot, and pull it down so I can see all of my folders at the same time. You need to be in the iLife sound effects folder. So in order to do that, there is a little down arrow. So you're going to press that down arrow, and then you're going to search for jingles. You can tell you're in the right place because you have 200 items. Now, in this iLife sound effects, there are tons of really cool things like the alarm, and some alien communication. But we don't need to be in those because those are just sound effects. We're looking for some jingles. So if you click on that jingle folder, the cool thing about these jingles is the fact that there is no lyrics and they're meant to loop together. So they're meant to go back to back to back to back. So when the video is over, I want you to take about 10-15 minutes and just listen to the music. Take some time and see what you have in here and what you really like. So you can click on it and hit play. And then hit that little play button again to stop, or you can do spacebar will start and stop. So what I want you to do now, pause the video, and then you're going to take about 10 minutes and just listen to music. I want you to try to find a song that's going to go with your lab safety video. Now, you have to distinguish between what you like, what you think is cool, and what will go with the music. So something like this, I'll tell you right now, 3-point long, not going to work because it doesn't go along with our informational video of lab safety. So right now, take about 10-15 minutes, listen to some music, and then we'll start up again in a minute. Thanks. Okay, so you've taken some time and looked at and listened to hopefully quite a few of these soundtracks. Some of them that could possibly work. I always like Elysium. It's very neutral. There's not a whole bunch of highs and lows, and it's really kind of easy to listen to. So I'm going to use this one. In order to incorporate this in, click and hold. You're going to pull out and then bring up. Now there are two ways to put your music in. Option number one is the way that I'm doing it, which is the preferred method. When you see green in the entire area, like this, that means the music is automatically going to be placed at the beginning. If you don't like your soundtrack, you just click on it and hit delete. The other way to put it in is to actually drop it into the timeline itself. So if I drop it here with that green plus, it's going to start wherever my scrubber's at. And that's a problem because I need this to start at the beginning. So I'm actually going to delete this out. And I'm going to pull this up and over and drop it in. And then you'll notice that I only have about half of my video with music. So I'm going to pull the exact same song out, up, and over. And I just drop it in, and it's going to fill the whole way to the end. So here's the cool thing. iMovie does this thing called ducking, where it recognizes the difference between a song and a voiceover. iMovie knows that voiceovers are more important than songs. So as this is playing, when it gets to the voiceover, the song is going to duck underneath the voice. So let's go ahead and listen. When working in a science lab, it is important to know the basic rules. A short informational film will help you know how to act in a lab setting. So you'll notice the song went underneath and you could hear my voice higher, and when the voiceover was over, the song came back up. And it will continue to do that for every single voiceover. If there's less than 2 seconds in between each voiceover, the song will not come back will not come back up. It will stay quiet. So go ahead and pick your song and drop it in now. Okay, so you should have your song in. It should be green behind everything. And that was actually the final piece. So we have our pictures. You should have your voiceover work on every single line. You should have a title at the beginning, a title at the end. You should have at least 3 text over photos, and you should have some music. Those are all the pieces that you're going to need to complete this informational video. So now what we need to do is we need to export the video. If I were to try to hand this in right now, it's not going to work very well because all of these pieces are separate and they can be moved around. So I can take this photo and I can move it over here. I can take this picture and move it over here. Really going to mess things up. So I'm going to undo both of those with Command Z. When you export your video, it's like gluing everything together. When you're in kindergarten, teacher says cut out 5 squares and 5 circles, make a pattern, glue it down. Well, we've made a pattern here with all of our voiceovers and our pictures and our music, and now we need to glue it down so it cannot be changed. In order to do that, you're going to click Share. I want you to say Export using QuickTime. And then just make sure that the Save As name, it should be your title. And make sure it's going to your desktop. That's going to make life really easy as you go to turn this into your Google Classroom account. So that's all correct. You don't need to change anything else. I'm just going to hit Save. And now we're going to export the project. Now, once you're exporting, you are locked out of iMovie. You cannot change anything. So just be aware of that. And this is saying it's going to take about 2 minutes. So make sure that you plan time at the end of the period to export your video. When you're doing your content video, do not wait until the music comes on to export because you will not have enough time. I always plan about 5 minutes before the music comes on to finish exporting things out. So I'll be back once this is exported. Okay, so my export is now done. My information window is gone. And if I minimize my iMovie, clicking the little yellow button, I will notice that my movie is now uploaded into, and it's on the desktop. So if I open this, if I double click on it, you'll notice that it opens in QuickTime Player, which is a completely different program than iMovie. So if I hit play, I now have my movie in one spot and all the pieces. When working in a science lab, it is important to know the basic rules. I'm going to pause that. All the pieces are together and nothing can get switched around. That's exactly what I want. So now I'm ready to turn into my Google Classroom account. So I already have my Google Classroom ready to go. I'm just going to close out of all of these guys here. I'm going to log into period 7, and this is just a practice one. And here it is assignment number 8, iMovie review video. This will be when your content review video is done. You do not have to turn in your practice video for a grade. So in order for me to turn this in, I'm going to click Add, and I'm going to click File because I'm adding an outside file. I'm just going to click and hold and drag this here and drop it in. We're going to say Upload. It'll take just a minute, and then it should show up here on lab safety video.mov. Life is good. I can go ahead and click turn in. Yes, that's the one I want to turn in, and you are good to go. Please remember that you do not have to turn your practice video in. The instructions that I just showed you are for your content review video, which will be coming up next. So now you have all of the pieces together. What I need you to do is practice exporting. You do not need to turn in your practice video at this time, but be prepared to turn something in for your next project, which is your content review video, which will be explained tomorrow. Thanks.